Ladies and gentlemen, every great achievement in history, every invention, every success story, every empire began not in the hands, but in the mind of its creator. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest thinkers of personal success, once said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Today, I want to take you on a journey into the most powerful yet often overlooked force within us, the subconscious mind. It's the silent partner working 24/7, shaping our beliefs, guiding our actions, and ultimately building the reality we live in. If you've ever felt stuck, held back by fear, doubt, or invisible barriers, the key to breaking free isn't outside of you, it's within. And once you learn to harness the power of your subconscious mind, you'll realize that success, happiness, and abundance are not distant dreams. They are your natural destiny. The subconscious mind is the most powerful force within us, yet it operates silently beneath the surface of our awareness. Napoleon Hill emphasized that the thoughts we consistently hold in our conscious mind, especially those charged with emotion and belief, are eventually accepted by the subconscious and begin to influence our actions, habits, and results. The subconscious does not reason or question it, simply accepts what is given to it repeatedly and with conviction. It is like fertile soil, always ready to accept the seeds we plant through our thoughts, whether those seeds are positive or negative. Once those seeds are planted, they grow and eventually manifest as conditions, circumstances, and experiences in our lives. The idea that your subconscious mind responds to dominant thoughts and beliefs is not merely a philosophical concept, it is a psychological and neurological truth. Every thought you think carries a frequency and energy, and when you continue to think the same thought over and over, especially with feeling, it becomes imprinted on your subconscious mind. This mental impression forms a belief. That belief begins to shape how you perceive the world, how you respond to challenges, and even how you interact with people. If your dominant thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, your subconscious will accept those ideas as your reality and guide your behavior accordingly. On the other hand, if your mind is saturated with confidence, purpose, and faith, the subconscious will align with those beliefs and help you take actions that lead to success. Many people live their entire lives unaware that their inner programming is what governs their external circumstances. They try to change their results by working harder, setting new goals, or pushing through obstacles, but they never address the root cause, the mental patterns running automatically in their subconscious. If your dominant belief is that money is hard to earn, that you're not good enough, or that success is for other people, no amount of conscious effort will override those deep-seated beliefs unless you deliberately recondition your mind. This is why people often find themselves repeating the same patterns: financial struggle, toxic relationships, self-sabotage, despite their best efforts to change. Dominant thoughts do not always come from deliberate thinking. They can be absorbed from our environment, our upbringing, and past experiences. As children, we are highly impressionable, and the subconscious mind is wide open. If you grew up hearing statements like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "You have to be lucky to succeed," those ideas may have taken root and become dominant beliefs. Even now, as adults, we continue to take in suggestions from media, social circles, and experiences which reinforce certain beliefs and thoughts. That's why it's crucial to take control of what you consistently allow into your mind. You must become the gatekeeper of your thoughts, choosing deliberately which ideas to accept and which to reject. Affirmations, visualization, and autosuggestion are powerful tools to influence your dominant thoughts. Napoleon Hill emphasized the power of autosuggestion in his book, Think and Grow Rich. By repeatedly suggesting specific ideas to yourself, especially those aligned with your goals and desires, you begin to influence the subconscious. This isn't just about saying positive things. It's about creating a consistent emotional and mental atmosphere that supports your vision. The subconscious responds more effectively when thoughts are accompanied by emotion. It is not the mere repetition of words that causes change, it is the feeling behind them that makes the impression. Another key factor in shaping dominant thoughts is consistency. One powerful thought is not enough to shift your subconscious programming. The mind must be conditioned day after day, just like training a muscle. The more frequently you focus on empowering thoughts, the stronger they become. Over time, they become your new normal, your new belief system, and eventually your reality. This is why successful people often have morning routines filled with intentional mental conditioning, reading affirmations, visualizing goals, meditating, and focusing their attention on what they want to create. They understand that the subconscious must be guided, not left on autopilot. It's also important to note that dominant thoughts influence not just your mental state, but also your body and behavior. The subconscious governs your habits, reactions, and even physiological responses. When you feed your mind with thoughts of confidence and success, your posture changes, your energy shifts, and your actions align with those beliefs. Conversely, if your dominant thoughts are full of anxiety and self-doubt, your body will reflect that in tension, hesitation, and avoidance. Your entire being responds to the mental signals being broadcast from your subconscious, whether those signals are constructive or destructive. Your results, therefore, are not a coincidence. They are a direct reflection of the dominant thoughts and beliefs housed in your subconscious mind. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing the mental images and emotional associations that you allow to dominate your thinking. Repetition and emotion are the keys to reprogramming your inner world. The subconscious mind, unlike the conscious mind, does not think logically or critically. It does not analyze or judge what is true or false. Instead, it accepts information that is repeated often enough, especially when it is charged with emotion. This means that if you want to create lasting change in your beliefs, habits, and results, you must feed your subconscious mind with the same empowering messages over and over again, and do so with deep emotional involvement. The subconscious mind learns through repetition. Just as a child learns language by hearing the same words again and again, the subconscious mind adopts beliefs through repeated exposure to certain ideas. Think of how advertising works. When you see the same message or brand over and over, it eventually becomes familiar and accepted. The subconscious is influenced in the same way. When you consistently repeat affirmations or visualizations that align with your goals, they begin to sink into your inner mind. Over time, these repeated thoughts form new neural pathways in your brain, making the beliefs automatic and natural. But repetition alone is not enough. Emotion is what gives repetition its power. Emotion is the energy that fuels belief. A thought without feeling is weak. It barely leaves an impression. But a thought infused with strong emotion, whether it's joy, love, fear, or excitement, becomes a powerful message to the subconscious. This is why we tend to remember emotionally charged experiences more vividly than ordinary ones. The subconscious mind is highly responsive to the emotional tone behind a thought. If you want to convince your inner mind of something new, you must feel it as though it is already true. When you repeat a statement like, "I am confident and successful," saying it like a robotic chant will not do much. But if you say it with conviction, with a clear mental image of yourself succeeding, and with the emotional energy of excitement or gratitude, the subconscious begins to accept it. Over time, as the same message is impressed again and again with feeling, it takes root as a belief. That belief then begins to guide your behavior, influence your decisions, and shape the outcomes you experience. This is why negative beliefs are often so hard to change. Many of them were formed not just through repetition, but through emotionally intense experiences. A moment of rejection, a failure, or a traumatic event, especially in childhood, may have left a deep emotional imprint that became a belief. These beliefs weren't formed logically. They were created in an emotional moment and then reinforced over time. To override them, you must create new emotional associations with new, empowering beliefs. That's where repetition and emotion come in. By consciously repeating positive thoughts and attaching strong positive feelings to them, you begin to rewrite the programming that has been holding you back. One of the most effective ways to combine repetition and emotion is through visualization. When you visualize your goals as already achieved, and you do so repeatedly while feeling the emotions of success, joy, pride, freedom, you are speaking directly to your subconscious in its own language. Visualization bypasses the critical mind and allows you to mentally rehearse success. The more vividly you imagine your desired outcome, and the more you feel the emotions associated with it, the faster it begins to rewire your inner beliefs. Another method is the use of affirmations, not just as words spoken aloud, but as declarations filled with meaning. Choose affirmations that truly resonate with your goals and values. Repeat them multiple times a day, ideally in front of a mirror, and say them with enthusiasm and belief, Feel the truth of the words as if they already describe your life. Over time, these affirmations will begin to reshape your self-image, replacing doubt and fear with confidence and certainty. Repetition and emotion are also key in breaking negative habits and forming new ones. Habits are simply actions that have been repeated until they become automatic. To replace an old habit, you must create a new behavior, repeat it consistently, and attach a positive emotion to it. For example, if you want to develop the habit of waking up early, focus on the benefits you feel more peace, clarity, and productivity every time you do it. Let those feelings reinforce the new habit until it becomes second nature. The process of change through repetition and emotion is not instant, but it is certain. The subconscious mind responds to consistency. It needs to be reminded again and again of the new belief, the new vision, the new truth you want to adopt. You are, in essence, training your mind the same way you would train your body. Just as muscles grow through repeated effort and emotional investment, your mind grows stronger and more aligned with your goals through the steady application of thought and feeling. Faith and imagination are the gateways to manifesting your desires. Napoleon Hill taught that faith is the foundation of all great achievement. It is the inner certainty that what you want is not only possible, but already real on a higher level of consciousness. Imagination is the tool through which you create a mental picture of your desire. When faith and imagination are combined, they become a powerful force that communicates directly with the subconscious mind and sets the creative process in motion. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is a deep, unwavering belief that what you desire will come to pass. This belief must be so strong that it overrides doubt, fear, and appearances. The subconscious mind only accepts what you truly believe. It does not respond to weak hopes or half-hearted affirmations. It responds to firm, confident declarations backed by emotional conviction. When you develop true faith in your goals and desires, you impress them deeply onto your subconscious, and this internal belief begins to guide your actions, decisions, and results. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. It is where you build the blueprint of your future. Every invention, every business, every accomplishment began in someone's imagination. Your imagination allows you to see beyond your current circumstances and picture a new reality. This is not just daydreaming. It is the deliberate use of your mental faculties to design the life you want. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently imagine your desired outcome and do so with emotion and detail, your subconscious begins to accept that vision as truth. Faith activates the power of your imagination, and imagination strengthens your faith. When you imagine a future that excites you and fills you with purpose, you begin to believe in it more deeply. That belief fuels more powerful images, which then reinforce your faith. This creates a feedback loop in your mind that builds momentum toward your goal. The more you believe in your vision, the more clearly you can see it. The more clearly you see it, the more you believe it. Eventually, your subconscious mind becomes saturated with this new reality, and it begins to influence every area of your life to bring that vision into form. To cultivate faith, you must begin by controlling your thoughts. Eliminate doubt and fear as soon as they appear. Feed your mind with stories of success, possibility, and perseverance. Surround yourself with people and environments that support your vision. Speak affirmations of faith daily. Say to yourself with confidence, I believe in myself. I believe in my dreams. I believe that everything is working out for my highest good. The more you affirm faith, the more it becomes a part of your mental makeup. To strengthen your imagination, take time each day to visualize. Close your eyes and see yourself already living your dream. Feel the emotions of that success. Hear the sounds, see the colors, smell the scents. Engage all your senses in your mental picture. Do this every day, especially in the morning and before sleep, when your mind is most receptive. The clearer and more consistent your mental image, the more powerfully it will influence your subconscious. Napoleon Hill often said that the mind becomes magnetized with the dominating thoughts we hold, and it attracts to us the people, circumstances, and opportunities that match those thoughts. When your faith is strong and your imagination is vivid, you become a magnet for success. You begin to notice new possibilities, take inspired actions, and connect with the right resources. These things are not coincidences. They are the natural result of a mind that is aligned with its vision. Even when obstacles appear, faith allows you to stay focused on the end result. Faith tells you that every challenge is temporary and that success is inevitable. It gives you the strength to keep going, even when logic says to stop. Your imagination keeps you emotionally connected to your vision so that you never lose sight of what you're working toward. When you combine the emotional power of faith with the creative force of imagination, you create a mental atmosphere where your desires are not only possible but inevitable. The subconscious mind is like a servant that responds to the instructions you give it through your thoughts, beliefs, and mental images. Faith gives the instruction its power, and imagination gives it its form. Together, they communicate directly with the deeper levels of your mind, setting in motion unseen forces that begin to organize your world in alignment with your vision.